On the glittering surface of social media, Alyssa Storm seemed untouchable. Millions adored her flawless photos, her designer outfits, her grand mansion perched high above the city. Every livestream was a performance of perfection. Every video a declaration of luxury. To her followers, she was a goddess of the digital age. But behind the filters and ring lights, arrogance ruled her world. Then came the day her life collided with Marcus Reed, a quiet, hardworking black plumber who lived paycheck to paycheck fixing the pipes most people never thought twice about. When Alyssa's hot tub needed repair, Marcus showed up with his tool bag and his calm professionalism. She didn't thank him. She mocked him. She filmed him, turned him into a joke for her millions of viewers, laughing at his worn boots and calloused hands. The clip went viral overnight. Marcus said nothing. He swallowed the humiliation and went home. Just another working man disrespected by someone who thought money and fame made them superior. But fate is never finished. Weeks later, as Alyssa hosted her biggest live event, thousands watching, sponsors lined up, cameras rolling, disaster struck. A pipe burst in her mansion, flooding the marble floors, shorting the lights, and turning her empire of perfection into chaos. Her brand, her reputation, her fortune, all drowning in water. Only one man had the skills to save her, the same man she had mocked before the world. And when Marcus arrived, tools in hand, the story of power, pride, and redemption truly began. Alyssa Storm woke up to the gentle hum of her automated blinds, sunlight spilling into her mansion like a carefully choreographed performance. Everything about her mornings was curated: her silk pajamas, her marble bathroom, her steaming cup of imported coffee. Even the first words she spoke every day weren't meant for herself, but for her camera. "Good morning, my loves," she chirped into her phone, her smile flawless, her hair perfectly tousled. Hearts and comments poured in instantly. Alyssa lived for them. To her followers, she was inspiration. To her sponsors, she was profit. To her neighbors, she was noise and drama. But to herself, Alyssa was untouchable, a queen of digital perfection. Down the hill, in a cramped apartment far from her marble halls, Marcus Reed tied his work boots. His mornings had no cameras, no applause, just the soft sound of his daughter's laughter as she ate cereal at the kitchen table. "Daddy, will you be home for dinner tonight?" 8-year-old Kayla asked, swinging her legs. "I'll try, princess. Got a big job today. Maybe a tough one." Kayla grinned. "You always fix it." Those words fueled him more than any paycheck. Marcus worked long hours as a plumber, not because he loved broken pipes, but because he loved providing for his daughter. Every scraped knuckle, every heavy wrench was for her future. That morning, fate dialed his number. A service call. A clogged hot tub in the wealthy hills. Marcus loaded his van, unaware that his next customer wasn't just wealthy. She was Alyssa Storm, the woman whose face dominated billboards and phone screens. The mansion towered like a modern palace. As Marcus pulled up, he felt the familiar divide. Men like him fixed things in houses like this. Men like him were invisible. He knocked on the door. Moments later, Alyssa appeared, phone in hand, live stream running. "Oh my God, you guys, look at this. They sent a plumber, like an actual plumber," she giggled. "Say hi to the stream, Mr. Fix-It." Marcus shifted uncomfortably. Ma'am, I'm here for the hot tub repair." Yeah, it's out back. But guys, look at those boots. Vintage, right?" Her followers laughed in the comments. Marcus swallowed his pride. Work was work. He followed her to the backyard, where the infinity pool sparkled under the sun. The hot tub bubbled weakly, clearly overworked. "Can you fix it, or do we need to buy a new one?" Alyssa asked, smirking. "I'll take a look," Marcus said, kneeling by the machinery. He ignored the camera still trained on him, focused instead on the pipes, the wiring, the water pressure. He was in his world, where his hands knew the answers. Within minutes, he diagnosed a problem: a clogged filter, a faulty valve. He worked silently, methodically. Sweat gathered on his brow, but his movements were steady. Alyssa, bored, scrolled her phone, occasionally turning the camera back on him. Guys, he's actually fixing it. Can you believe it? Like, maybe I should marry a plumber, right? She laughed at her own joke, the words careless but cutting. Marcus heard it. He always heard it. Jokes that weren't jokes. Reminders of where people thought they belonged. Still, he fixed the hot tub. The jets roared back to life, stronger than before. He stood, wiping his hands. All set. She blinked, surprised. Wait, that fast? Yes, ma'am. For a moment, their eyes met. Beneath her glossed-over confidence, something flickered. Respect? No. She turned back to her phone. Okay, loves, crisis averted. Hot tub is back, thanks to Mr. Plumber Man. I guess even people with tool belts have their moments. Marcus packed his things. He left without another word. But the video clip didn't leave. Overnight, it spread. Millions laughing at the plumber in worn boots. Millions watching Alyssa smirk. Marcus's daughter saw it at school. Daddy, why are they laughing at you? Marcus clenched his jaw. He had no answer. But life, as always, was about to give him one.
The clip of Alyssa mocking Marcus spread like wildfire. Her fans loved it. Millions of views, laughing emojis flooding the screen. That plumber's boots belong in a museum, one comment read. Another joked, she should marry him, he'd keep the pipes flowing. Alyssa soaked in the attention, blind to the cruelty she was feeding. For Marcus, it was different. At work, his coworkers slapped him on the back, trying to make light of it. Hey, Mr. Plumber Man, when's the wedding? But at home, Kayla's eyes told the truth. She hated seeing her father turned into a meme. Daddy, you're not funny to them, she whispered one night. They're being mean. Marcus hugged her. I know, princess. Some people just don't understand. He tried to move on, but the world wouldn't let him. Calls to his business slowed, people wanted selfies more than service. Even customers cracked jokes when he arrived at their door. He became a punchline in a world that never asked his permission. Meanwhile, Alyssa thrived. Sponsors loved the spike in engagement. She leaned into the joke, creating hashtags like #MarryThePlumber. She even ordered a toy tool belt for one of her live streams, parading around as if blue-collar work was just another costume. One evening, during a brand-sponsored live stream, Alyssa pushed the humiliation further. She had invited a group of influencers to her mansion for a poolside event. Cameras rolled, champagne flowed, and Alyssa basked in the glow of adoration. Then she spotted Marcus again. He had been called by her assistant to fix another minor leak near the pool. He hadn't wanted to return. Every fiber of him resisted, but work was work, and his daughter's needs always outweighed his pride. Mr. Plumber Man, Alyssa announced into her microphone, turning the spotlight on him. Back again, huh? Maybe he just loves me. Laughter erupted from her influencer friends. Phones rose, cameras recording. Marcus felt the heat of humiliation burn his skin. He focused on the leak, tightening pipes, ignoring the jeers. But Alyssa wasn't done. Hey, Marcus, she called, smirking. Tell me, if you fix this one, do I owe you a date or maybe a proposal? She exaggerated the word and her audience roared. Marcus looked up at her, silent. His eyes said what his lips didn't. This isn't a joke to me. But Alyssa missed it or ignored it. To her, he was content, not a man. When he left that night, something in him shifted. Not anger, not revenge, but a resolve. He would no longer let her disrespect define him. The universe has a way of balancing arrogance. 2 weeks later, Alyssa prepared for her biggest live stream yet. A global cosmetics brand had chosen her mansion for their product launch. Thousands were tuned in. Millions more would watch the replay. Lights, cameras, stylist, everything screamed perfection. But perfection is fragile. Halfway through the broadcast, as Alyssa strutted across her marble floor in designer heels, a faint gurgling sound echoed through the house. At first, no one noticed. Then a crack, a hiss, and suddenly, water burst from the ceiling. Streams of water cascaded down the walls, flooding the floors, shorting out lights. The mansion turned into chaos, expensive equipment drenched, screaming guests slipping across the marble. The live stream captured everything. Alyssa's panic, her perfect world crumbling in real time. Sponsors texted frantically. Viewers laughed and gasped. "Is this a prank?" someone commented. But it wasn't. A main pipe had burst. Technicians scrambled. Assistants screamed. But no one knew what to do. No one except one man. "Call the plumber," Alyssa's manager shouted over the chaos. And so once again, fate dialed Marcus Reed. He arrived in his van, stepping out to the sight of paparazzi snapping photos of the mansion gushing water like a broken dam. Inside, Alyssa stood in her soaked gown, mascara running, her empire drowning before the eyes of millions. When she saw him, her pride crumbled just a little. "Marcus," she whispered. He didn't gloat, he didn't mock. He just lifted his tool bag. "Show me where."
Water surged through the mansion like an uninvited army. Crystal chandeliers dripped, walls bled, the marble floor became a skating rink. Guests screamed as their designer shoes were ruined. Expensive cameras sparked and died. The live stream didn't cut. It kept rolling, broadcasting Alyssa's nightmare to millions. Alyssa's brand, her empire, her carefully curated life, it was all dissolving before her eyes. She clutched her phone with trembling hands, mascara streaking down her cheeks, trying to smile through the chaos. Loves," she said weakly to the camera. "We're just having a, little plumbing issue." Another pipe burst, spraying water over her shoulder. Viewers flooded the chat. "LOL, this is karma. Get the plumber back. Hashtag Mr. Fix-It to the rescue." The irony was brutal. Then Marcus appeared, pushing through the chaos with his heavy toolbox. His boots splashed in the growing water, his calm presence a stark contrast to the hysteria. He scanned the scene with a plumber's practiced eye, tracing the source of the disaster. "Main valve?" he asked an assistant. No idea," the panicked man stammered. Marcus didn't waste breath. He moved with purpose, heading straight for the basement. Alyssa followed, stumbling in soaked heels. "Please," she whispered, desperation cracking her once mighty voice. Just fix it. I'll pay anything. Just save this." Marcus glanced back at her. "This isn't about money. It's about control. And right now, you don't have any." She said nothing. For the first time in her career, Alyssa Storm was powerless. Down in the basement, water sprayed like a fire hose. Marcus waded through, his hands steady, his mind focused. He turned valves, sealed leaks, tightened bolts. Every move was efficient, practiced. Within minutes, the roaring water slowed, then stopped. Silence filled the house, broken only by dripping and the nervous breaths of those around. He exhaled. "It's contained. For now. But the damage is serious. You'll need major repairs." Alyssa stared at him, her chest heaving. For once, there were no cameras between them. Just a woman stripped of her pride and a man standing tall in his dignity. "Marcus," she began, voice trembling. I don't know what to say." He wiped his hands on a rag. "Then don't say anything. Just remember what you did. How you laughed. How you turned me into a joke." Her cheeks flushed with shame. Millions were still watching, but for the first time, Alyssa didn't care about them. She cared about the man in front of her. Upstairs, the live stream finally cut off. Sponsors pulled their ads. News outlets replayed the disaster. But amidst the headlines mocking her downfall, another narrative emerged. The plumber who saved the influencer. Clips of Marcus at work circulated, his calm authority contrasted with Alyssa's panic. Viewers who once laughed at him now admired him. Kayla watched from home, her eyes shining with pride. "That's my daddy," she whispered. When the last guest left and the cameras were gone, Alyssa found Marcus outside, loading his tools into his van. The outside air was heavy with silence. "You saved me," she said quietly. Marcus didn't look up. "I saved your house. Saving you, that's something you'll have to do yourself." Her throat tightened. For the first time, Alyssa's storm felt small.
The next morning, Alyssa woke to silence. No buzzing phone, no brand deals, no flood of comments begging for her attention. Instead, headlines painted her as a fallen queen. Influencer's mansion floods live on air. From glam to sham, Alyssa Storm's empire crumbles. The plumber who saved her. The last one stung most. Not because Marcus didn't deserve the praise, he did, but because it forced Alyssa to face herself. She had built her empire on mockery and vanity, while Marcus had built his life on dignity and hard work. For the first time in years, Alyssa didn't turn on her camera. She sat in silence, mascara smudged, staring at her reflection. Marcus, meanwhile, returned to his routine. He woke Kayla for school, packed her lunch, and kissed her forehead. The world might see him as a hero now, but to him, nothing had changed. His pride was in his daughter, not in headlines. Still, the phone rang nonstop. Reporters wanted interviews, TV shows offered him appearances, but Marcus declined them all. "I'm a plumber," he told his coworkers. "That's what I do." But one invitation lingered, a request from Alyssa herself. She wanted to meet, privately, without cameras. When Marcus arrived at the half-repaired mansion, Alyssa was waiting by the pool. Gone were the gowns and makeup. She wore jeans, her hair tied back, her eyes raw with humility. "Marcus," she said softly, "thank you for everything. I don't just mean the pipes. I mean, for showing me who I really was." He studied her. The arrogance was gone, replaced with something unfamiliar. Sincerity. "I used you," she admitted. "I mocked you. I thought your work made you less. But when everything fell apart, you were the only one who knew what to do. I was powerless, and you were strong. You deserved respect, not ridicule." For a long moment, Marcus said nothing. Then he nodded. Respect isn't given because of money or fame. It's earned by how we treat people. Her eyes watered. "I want to earn it. Not for the cameras, for real." Over the weeks, Alyssa began to change. She apologized publicly, not with a polished PR script, but with trembling honesty. She admitted her arrogance, her cruelty, and named Marcus as the man who saved not just her mansion, but her perspective. At first, the internet mocked her again. "She's faking it. Another stunt." But slowly, people saw the difference. Alyssa's streams shifted from flaunting luxury to highlighting real stories. Blue-collar workers, single parents, everyday heroes. And she invited Marcus one day, not as a prop, but as a guest. The livestream was simple. No glam, no sponsors, just Alyssa and Marcus at a table. This is Marcus Reed. He's not just a plumber. He's a father, a man of dignity, a reminder that the people we overlook often carry the greatest strength. I mocked you. I was wrong, and I'm asking you all to see him the way I should have from the start. The comments flooded with support. Kayla watched from home, beaming. "That's my daddy," she whispered again. Only this time, the world agreed. In time, Alyssa's brand recovered, not with the empty glitz of before, but with authenticity. Marcus went back to plumbing, refusing fame, but everywhere he went, he was met with respect. No more jokes, no more mockery, just gratitude. One evening, after finishing a job, Marcus returned home to find a small box on his doorstep. Inside was a handwritten note. "To Marcus, for teaching me that true strength is quiet, humble, and real. With respect, Alyssa." Beneath the note was a custom-made pair of work boots, sturdy and new.
Marcus smiled, slipping them on. They fit perfectly. He looked at Kayla and said, "See, Princess, never let anyone tell you your worth. You know who you are. That's enough." And with that, the plumber who had once been a joke became a quiet legend, not because he chased fame, but because he lived with dignity.